Hi everyone, this is Vardhani, working as Associate Professor at Adishankara College of Engineering Technology, Guru. Today I am going to discuss about pre-processing in data mining. In this video, the topics to be covered are why pre-processing, what is pre-processing, steps in pre-processing, and example data which is required pre-processing. First we will see why pre-process the data. Because the real world data is dirty. Whenever you are collecting the data from heterogeneous places, the data may be incomplete, the data may be noisy, or it may inconsistent. It may having the inconsistency. Incomplete means it is having some missing values. There is a lacking of attribute values. Some of the attributes may not be filled, or there is a some lacking of attributes of interest, or it will contain only the aggregated data. The next one is data is noisy. That means it is having some erroneous values. It is having some values which is deviated from the expected values. And the next one is data inconsistent. Inconsistent means there is some discrepancies, there is some different forms for the data which is storing at the different locations. First we will see why these properties will be held by the data. What are the reasons for this? First, already we said that data may be the incomplete because of the following reasons. There is a lack, people doesn't know the importance of the data, as well as they doesn't know attributes of interest. That means what for the data is collecting, what is the output they are expecting, or what type of analysis they want to be performed from this data. All these things doesn't known by the people, so that they will left as it is. They won't fill that data. Or sometimes the relevant data may not be recorded due to misunderstanding, or sometimes it may also possible whatever the equipment we are using that is not functioning properly. All these are the reasons for incomplete data. The next, data may be the inconsistent. That means there is a different forms for the data. For example, some of them will store the weight in terms of pounds, and some of them will store the same weight in terms of kgs. At the same time, if you are taking S number, some of them will use the S number for storing the student number, and some of them will be used for the serial number. So there is a different forms for the data. There is no consistency form in the data. That we have to be avoided. The final one is data can be the noisy. It is having some erroneous data because of the following reasons. First, the data collection instrument what we are using, it may not working properly. Then next, it may be some human, or it may be some computer errors occurs at the time of data entry. Or there may be some technology limitations. That is nothing but some limited buffer size for coordinating the synchronized data transfer and consumption. So because of these reasons, we have to pre-process the data. Next, so how to pre-process the data? Means in the pre-processing, generally we will discuss about the 4 steps, which are increase the data mining functionality efficiency. The first one is data cleaning. So here we will clean the data by missing the filling values, by smoothing the noisy data. That means we will identify and we will remove the erroneous data, as well as we will resolve the inconsistency. The next step is integrating the multiple databases as our data warehouse, to construct our data warehouse. The final one, the next one is data transformation. Here the data can be transformed from the original form to suitable form for data mining. Especially when I am working with the machine learning tools, the data, the algorithms which you are using, those are more efficiently work with the normalized values, so that in the data transformation, the original values will be normalized or aggregated. The final one is data reduction. In this data reduction, we will compress the data from large volumes of the data to smaller volumes of the data by identifying the relevant attributes. And this data reduction can be happened by using data aggregation, dimension reduction as well as numerosity reduction. So this is about the pictorial representation of data preprocessing. In this, the first step is data cleaning. That means here we will smooth out the noisy, we will fill the missing values and we will remove the inconsistency among the data. The next one is data integration. Here the multiple databases are integrated as a single database or warehouse. The next one is data transformation. That means the source form of the data will be transformed to normalized values. Final one is data reduction. Here the large volumes of the data will be compressed to smaller volumes by identifying the relevant attributes for the task. So all these are the different steps we have to perform in the pre-processing so that we will get the efficient result for the data mining functionality. If you are not giving the correct data to the data mining functionality, it may not give the correct output. It is not useful for analyzing the data. It is not useful for decision making. If you see this data, for example, it is having some missing values because people doesn't know what for this particular data is collecting. If you are using this same data, for example, if you see this record here, the marital status, salary, all these things are not at all filled. They are left it as a empty. If you are using this same data set for knowing about the marital status of the people, it won't give the correct result. It has to be filled and later on it has to be used for the analysis. At the same time, if you see this noisy data, that means there is some deviation from the expected values. There may be some erroneous data. If you are using this data for analysis, it won't give the correct result. Because of this reason, we have to perform the pre-processing before giving to the data mining. Thank you. Thank you all.